Good morning, good morning, good morning. You'll see this face, you'll hear this voice. It's a little raspy, but we here. You know it's Saturday, it's 8 a.m. and it is time for Solid Saturday. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And yay, Knicks. Amen. Today is going to be a great day because we serve a great God. And again, I say, yay, Knicks. Because the way they played last night, they hurt my kidneys. That game was intense. But nevertheless, we are here. We are here. We are here. So good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am not going to do a long introduction today because we have guests and I need him to have all the time he needs. I'm just doing. Did I see Erica? Good morning, E. I just want to make sure he has all the time that he needs. Good morning, Divine Destiny Cathedral, and to my Bishop Jones and First Lady Jones, to my parents, Nanny and Pop. You know I love you. You already know to pray for the world. Yeah, I'm just doing what I gotta do. Erica's here. You already know this is Solid Saturday, but this is also the month of June. We dedicate the month of June to men in honor of Father's Day. You know, we are celebrating 5 years. This is season 8, and our theme is still live in the now. And now is the acronym for no opportunities wasted. I'm just flowing right now, making sure that everything is everything, and it looks like everything is everything. All right, so y'all come on in, y'all say good morning, because once I put my guest up, you know I do not interrupt unless it's absolutely necessary. And y'all want to come on in and get in here because this is a great way to end the season. I love this person. I love this person. I love this person. So y'all already know we're going on vacation in July and August. We are going on vacation July and August. We are going on vacation July and August. I am going to celebrate everybody's birthday, anniversary, prom, graduation, step-ups on June 20th. I'm not doing it today. I'm not even celebrating myself today. We're going to do everybody on June 20th. So please don't feel like I forgot. I did not. June is dedicated to the men. You know, I always like to support my men. I've been telling you for weeks now that we're going to get into this book. I am the disruptor with this gentleman right here. You see his name? We had him on last year with the Crisis Compass. And if that wasn't enough, he got some more. So please don't think I am just rushing through. I'm not, but I am. Please understand what you see is what you get, and what you hear is what you heard. And my guest today is flowing and moving a little different today. So no disrespect. Feel free to ask questions. Be free to say yes or no, because he may address you personally. Okay? This is my disclaimer. So don't say that you weren't warned. So I will make all my announcements, like I said, on the 20th, because he will be with us today and next Saturday. So without further ado, see, this is why you got to get to church. You got to get to church on time because you don't know how things are going to move. Because I'm not doing a long dissertation today. I'm jumping right in because I need him to have all the time he needs. So without further delay or any long introduction, we are going to bring up, he said, don't say doctor, Prophet Earl O'Brien. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are
You
you?
see, I'm rushing, right? Because
Right.
I need you to flow. I need you to be free.
Okay.
And I really want to get into this book because I got questions. So thank you for your time and your sacrifice. Everybody can't do 8 o'clock on the weekends. They give that sacrifice Monday through Friday. So
Right.
thank you,
Welcome.
thank you. Now, this section is dedicated. This moment is dedicated to our men in reference to Father's Day.
Okay.
So, but you're gonna help as usual. You're gonna help everybody.
Right.
But I feel like they should be the lead disruptor.
I
You know
agree.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if I remember correctly, you. Oh, wait a minute. I left off a banner. Hold on 1 second, because people need to understand who this is. Hold on. Where are you? Why is it not coming up for me? There it is. Okay. Right. So, if I remember correctly, I saw you post on social media that you actually wrote 3 books at one time, and this was one of the 3.
It was 4, but the backstory is that
4.
yeah,
My
2 was
bad.
supposed to. I was supposed to release 2 last year. God had me pull it back and just add some little more stuff to it, and then so technically, two of the 4 were already written. I just have to add a little bit more, and then the other 2 actually did this year. Yeah.
I saw your titles,
Yeah.
and this is the one that pulled me in.
Yeah. Most people got pulled in with that one. So
This is the one that pulled me in.
yeah.
I've been talking about the book. I just text somebody this morning the titles of your books. I was like, go get it, go get it, go get it. So let's get into it. I'm going to read a little bit of your blurb off the back of the book, and then we're going to get into it. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Silence protects systems. Truth dismantles them. There is a difference between honoring God and protecting systems that misuse his name. For too long, spiritual abuse has thrived in environments where silence is mistaken for submission, accountability is avoided in the name of order, quote unquote, and wounded voices are labeled as rebellious instead of being recognized as evidence of harm. I am a disruptor is not written to provoke chaos, it is written to restore clarity.
Yeah.
And that's just a part of the blurb on the back. So let's get into it.
Okay.
Let's first define disruptor. I have the Google definition, but in your words, so it's more relatable. What is a disruptor?
In this context, a disruptor is anyone who will see a system in place that does not reflect the heart of God and interrupts that. Right. And that can look like anything. So when I wrote about it in this context, it's really talking about uh learning the difference between being loyal and lethal loyalty, right? Following someone blindly, not being able to ask questions, feeling the need to shrink back or shrink yourself to a version that people are able to accept, right? So when you are disrupting a system, you're coming into the knowledge. You can only disrupt something when you have full knowledge of it, right? So you don't look like someone who's just problematic, but you're actually disrupting a system because it's not reflecting God's heart.
And this is not just in church. This is you being you wherever you are.
Right.
Because I run into situations a lot at work. Right now, and I say right now loosely, right now I work with DOE. We paid for a training to become mandated reporters, but we can't report nothing. And if you report something, then you got a target on your back. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a disruptor, a part of the Google definition says, well, I'm just going to read it. It says a person or company or technology that fundamentally changes the way an industry operates by introducing innovations that will upend traditional business models or the status quo.
Yep.
And I thought that was such a broad but specific definition, because it mentions bringing change to tradition.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's where we're going.
Yep.
Right now, the streets, they say snitches get stitches.
Right.
But are we really snitching if we're trying to bring truth and clarity to chaos? And why are we labeled the problem when we're trying to bring a solution? That's my whole life story. That, again, like, I gotta send you an offering, because I was like, I'm a disruptor? Is that why people don't like me? Because I'm gonna stand 10 toes down in the truth, but we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. Because I told you section 1 of your book was like, girl, you fine. When I got you, I was like, it ain't you. But we ain't talking about me right now. We're talking to the people.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So you mentioned spiritual abuse.
Yeah.
And you mentioned corrupt systems.
Yeah.
Talk about it. What is it?
Okay. So when we talk about spiritual abuse, you're talking about weaponizing God's name and his word to get people to do what you want to do, not what God needs them to do. Right. Spiritual abuse can be like avoiding conflicts that need to be resolved, not being able to, like I said, to ask any questions, not challenge what has been traditionally set in place. When you talk about spiritual abuse, we're talking about, okay, perfect example, David and Saul. Right? David loved Saul. And when Saul saw what David was able to do with Goliath, his heart started to turn towards him. So spiritual abuse looks like taking advantage of an individual because you know they love you and they will never see you doing any wrong. And you use their heart against them. But you have to have enough of a relationship in order to successfully do that.
You got to be close enough.
You got to be close enough in proximity and in the nature of the relationship. So abusing a person, and some people, it's tricky because some people are not aware of it.
Yeah.
Because
you know why? Because they say, oh, they would never do that to me. They love me. That's my friend. That's my sis. That's my bro. They would never do that to me. I got like that last year, graduation. And I know this person, and I know how they operate.
Right.
I was like, they wouldn't do that to me, though. It was my graduation. The lies I told myself, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
But we're not talking about me. I'm just letting you know this book is an eye opener.
Yeah.
Such an eye opener. I want to ask you, because we're just dealing with the topic of the book. I want to ask you two things. You can answer in any kind, either order.
Okay.
I want to know, how does tithing, is that part of corrupt systems? And I want to know what led you to write this book at this time.
Is tithing a part of corrupt systems?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I would say no. Tithing is biblical, even though people argue about it because it was mentioned in the Old Testament. But tithing is biblical. Now, the use of it can develop corruption. The misuse of it, right? When we're talking about economic oppression, right, within the church, using people, everybody's not making a certain amount of money. We're just going to keep it a buck, right? Everyone's financial books don't look the same. And the misuse of tithing has given people a lot of pause, right? They become skeptical. They've become, guilted or guilt tripped for not being able to give, right? And then people are left feeling discouraged, feeling like God is mad at them because if you don't have it, you don't have it. I've told people this for years. I even told my mother, I'm like, if you don't have it, you don't have it. God's not going to beat you over the head for what you cannot give, right? But the danger with having influence is that you could use your influence to manipulate people to give something, or if I give you this, you sow the seed, you get a word. We paying for words now? We're paying for prophecies? So I want people to understand tithing is biblical. Filthy lucre is a problem. The Bible talks about that too. So you have to discern the difference, and helping other people understand that if you do not have it, you don't have it. If God is leading you to give, he's doing that for a reason. Now, what led me to write this book at this time? Oh, child, I've been holding that thing in for years, to be honest with you.
Really?
Years. This is not new. This book is not new. I had stuff in my archives for years. Those books were archived. It's new now because it's out in the open. But I've had these books in my Word document, Google Docs, Pages app. I've had these books written for years, but they were never done. They were never finished.
So, what did you experience that led you to write this book? I am a disruptor.
Well,
Because it comes from a place of experience. I can hear it when I was reading, and I was like, what happened?
Yeah, and I want to give a disclaimer. This is not about my last church. This is not about my last church. I've been
okay. So I was like, what was your last church? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, last church I was in is not about that. So before then, I was not knowingly, I didn't know I was a disruptor. For the time, so what made me write this book is that I went through years of seeing spiritual abuse happen in churches, people weaponizing scripture to manipulate congregations. When I say weaponizing, the misuse or the context, the improper context of scripture being used. I've seen people abandon their families for the name of ministry, which is not biblical in the first place, right? I've seen friends of mine walk away from God because of how churches treated them. When I say spiritual abuse, when I say corrupt systems, okay, perfect example. I don't believe that women, even though, women who have who got pregnant out of wedlock, standing in front of churches and apologizing to a church, you don't owe a church an apology. You don't owe them an apology for something that happened, like something like that. I've seen people get abused like that and ridiculed and scolded for their sin. But if I have a collar, my sin is covered. I've seen people become martyrs just for asking questions because they genuinely wanted to know what certain things were in certain churches, right? You can't ask questions, right? If you question people have attached questioning to being rebellious or being divisive. No, if I'm asking a question because something don't sound right about your preaching, I desire to know. Now, if you can't answer the question, just say that, right? I've seen my own mother get ridiculed in churches in the past. I've seen her, and because I didn't have language for it, I didn't know how to approach it. Right? I wasn't one of those who who crash out quick because I know I know me, I know how I'm set up. If I crash out, it's bad. Everybody getting hurt. Everyone, like it's like a tornado, like a berserker. Everyone's catching a stray, right? So I wrote this book because I've seen a lot of people walk away from God, get guilt tripped from walking away from churches, right? And in my own personal experience, I got tired of people in the name of God making me feel as if though thinking differently meant I was being rebellious or being fake. So I was like, God, you know what? Instead of me getting upset, I'm gonna talk about it. Because I know there's a lot of people out here who feel the same way I do, and they may not be able to say nothing. So this book is I'm talking about me. When I wrote this, I was really talking about me. I was thinking out loud. And thinking out loud critically in a way that people can feel seen and feel like you're not crazy. You were not the problem. Right? You were the difference. That's why I wrote my dedication the way I did. To people who felt like they were always an issue. Nothing you said opposite of what's been accepted, right? You've spoken the opposite. You've thought differently, right? And that's how God wired you. And you were told to shrink back, not directly, but it was called you're being rebellious, you're causing division, you're unsubmitted, you're prideful. So I have to help people know there's a difference. Some people are prideful, absolutely. Some people are insidiously prideful, rebellious. There are some people that come against the things of God. This book is not for you. If you are one who is intentionally coming up against what God establishes, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those who have been in the church, who understand the things of God, and who have experienced harm that they can't talk about to this day, that are older than me.
Listen, I got some stories that I could share. I was excommunicated
Absolutely.
from a church, blackballed and labeled,
Yep.
because I went and checked on a church member instead of being in Bible study. And then everybody knew where I was, lied for the sake of the collar.
Of course.
And I was like, okay, whatever. You know, there was another incident where he was a pastor at the time, his whole aura just rubbed me the wrong way. He didn't do anything to me personally, per se. Right. But every time you open your mouth, it was almost as if I saw snakes.
Wow.
And I was like, don't talk to me, don't touch me, don't even say good morning, don't say God bless, don't say nothing to me. And my leaders was like, well, did he do something to you? No, he's a nasty individual. He means you no good. And, everybody got this click about, oh, but that's Pastor so-and-so, that's my friend, and da-da-da. I said, okay. And nobody listened to me until he stepped on them to build himself up. I said, I told you. I told you, he's a snake. And to this very day, he's still a snake. And I'm just like, so being a disruptor is weighty.
Yeah.
It's very, very weighty. And I am a person of defense. I'm a defender.
Right.
I know that.
Right.
I know that right off the bat. If I got you, I got you. The end. That's the book. If I That's it. You
Right.
ain't got to ask, well, is Cherise coming? Are you sure? Is it? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. If I got you, I got you. And I'm going to speak up.
Right.
So I get labeled as, oh, she's so mean. She's so nasty. She's so antisocial. No, I see you. I don't like how you move. You ain't got to do nothing to me personally. You already are in rare form. This is who you are. So I get these labels and stuff. And so for when you said in your book, you are not the problem, I was like, yo, what does he want for Father's Day? What does he want for his birthday? What does he want? Does he want a car? Does he
Oh,
want, because for so many years you get mislabeled,
correct.
because people don't know, we don't know how to explain it, and then people don't know how to handle it.
Right.
And
Right.
then if you try to explain it, then comes um the misunderstanding of it all.
Yep.
Can you see the comments when I post them?
I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um so let me ask this, right? How do you know when and when not to?
When and when not to what?
Speak up.
Ah.
Because even with Jesus, he was in his hometown with his own family, and and they disrespected him and rejected him, and he shook the dust off his feet and left.
Right. You have to know when. That comes with discernment. That comes with wisdom. You have to discern where that person is in their belief system, in their understanding, in their entire being. Right. There's some people I knew they were doing stuff, and still to this day I have not said nothing to them because I saw how they acted when someone else challenged how they were doing things and told them simply, what you're doing, this is going to cause an issue for you in your personal life, in your business, and in your ministry. You have to change. Person like, yeah, I know, I'm working on it. Never did. Just said it. But the patterns were still there. The patterns, the behavior, the
The
reactions,
patterns.
everything was still there. And that person kept getting challenged until they lashed out. And I said, this is exactly why. Because I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. You have to know when to speak, when not to. It looks like being prayerful. If God is pulling you to speak and pulling you to say something, you better obey him. But if God's telling you to be quiet, he may say audibly, you may feel in your spirit, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. And it doesn't mean that sometimes people, and sometimes you can't even warn those in close proximity because they'll look at you as if you're the problem
Right.
because of how their eyes and how their heart is towards the individual or groups of people, right? It may not always be one person, maybe groups of people, maybe an organization. Like you said, this is for this. This can be applied to anything: church, business, friendships. It can be applied to anything. If you already have an idea that this individual not take anything you say into consideration, don't say another word. Jesus, even when Jesus was the religious leaders were pressing him, the Bible says he didn't say a word. He didn't say anything. You have to know where people are. Don't say nothing. Time has to now bring all of that right into play. And sometimes God is still have you not say nothing. Because if you know too much about a person, if the relationship is already at a place, somebody else who's from the outside looking in, who knows nothing, may have to be the one that God uses to speak. And that's gonna hurt because you're gonna be like, that person should listen to me. No, they don't have to.
You're right.
They don't owe
I've
you.
learned that.
Yeah, they don't owe you their ear.
I
They don't owe
I
you
can
that.
talk to somebody and know I'm right, not because I am who I am, but I this is it.
Right.
And it's not received. And somebody else could say the same exact thing and it's received. And I'm
Yep.
just like,
Yeah.
it's weird. It's so weird. It's so weird.
It's,
So from a male perspective, right?
Yep.
How does a man take his rightful place as a leader, as a provider, as a protector, and being a disruptor? Be it at home, church, especially home. How does a man stand, 10 toes down and be that disruptor without being disrespectful
Right. Yes, I
to his
understand.
spouse, to his family, to can you speak to that?
Yeah. In order for that to happen, that man has to understand his authority. When God gave Adam dominion, he gave him dominion over everything that was in the earth.
Mm.
Right? He gave him dominion in the same place where the Bible talks about, and darkness fell upon the face of the deep. That was in reference to Lucifer. When darkness fell, boom, hit the earth. And then God started creating everything. So now God gave Adam and Eve dominion in a place where the enemy fell. Right? And this is where this is where everything went left. God told Adam, that tree you don't touch. I'm gonna tie it all in. Don't touch this tree.
Mm-hmm.
Don't touch it. You can eat from any other tree. Just this one is off limits. If Adam would have interrupted or disrupted that conversation between Eve and Satan, if he would have went to her and be like, what are you doing? God told us not to do this. We wouldn't be having these relational conflicts that we do. In order for a man to provide, to protect, he has to understand himself as a person, understand himself as a man, understand what leading and providing and protecting looks like. If he doesn't have confidence in himself, leading, protecting, providing won't make sense to him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
To protect means to protect everything and himself as well. Right? Some men may not be in a position to provide. Right? And if that's understood, they shouldn't be pursuing anything yet until they're in that position to do so. You cannot be a disruptor and destabilize the pulse in your house. You can't be a protector. You cannot provide for no one if you're not responsible, if you lack integrity, if you lack honesty, if you lack vulnerability. You cannot protect, provide. You can't lead. You can't disrupt anything. So in order for you to do so, you have to be taught what that looks like. Men are supposed to protect, lead, and provide. What does that look like? Right? They have to understand, what does that look like in real time? How are you going to lead? How are you going to disrupt? You can't change systems anywhere if the system in your house is not in place yet. If there's no order set within your home, you cannot disrupt nothing that's out there in the world, because it's going to backfire, because you're not going to understand. If you don't understand traditions over trajectories, if you don't understand that just because something had longevity does not mean it had legitimacy, if you don't understand those things as a man, you can't protect no one. If I'm protecting my wife, that means I'm protecting her from more than just who wants me. I'm protecting her from attacks I know is coming because of who she's with and what she has on her life as well. That means protecting my girls spiritually. undergirding them in intercession in the realm of the spirit, and waiting for God to give me instruction on how to navigate so that protection makes sense. It's not just there in the world, in the secular space, in our religious spaces, but in the spirit too. My job to protect, to be the eyes, to see everything so that nothing bypasses me. So when something happens in the house, I'm aware of it. But if I'm out of my position as a man, as a leader, as a disruptor, and the enemy comes in, it's no one else's fault but mine, because I'm not protecting the way I'm supposed to. I feel this thing in my spirit. I have to be able to now go into prayer and disrupt everything, what happened in my bloodline, my family tree, my lineage, everything that did not work before I was born. I have to learn how to disrupt and change that narrative. Not just getting married because I said I am, but following that order. Following an order. So I have to disrupt tradition. Well, my family always did this. Not this time because it didn't work. Because none of y'all stayed married for a long period of time. I have to disrupt a premature death because men in my father's side of the family keep dying too early.
Jesus.
So all of that, because the enemy don't care nothing about you going to church. You don't care nothing about that. What he does have a problem with is you being one for real with God. That's how you disrupt him. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I forgot I was listening. I mean, I'm listening, but I forgot I was supposed to be interviewing.
Oh, and disruption is not disloyalty, but go ahead.
Go ahead, finish. No. Keep going.
Because in order for you to disrupt something, you're disrupting something that's worth fighting for.
See, and that's the definition. You're bringing change to tradition.
Yeah.
That's the definition of a disruptor.
Yes.
Whew. I'm sorry, that's what the interviewing, right? I want to talk about a chapter, but I don't want to go there just yet. Okay. Because I really want to talk to the men, right? Help with the men.
Okay.
Men are not emotional creatures. So
that's not true, but go ahead. That is not true, but go ahead. I'll let you
help me. Let me finish my thought, and then you can just dissect how you dissect. This is what we're here for.
Yep.
Right? It's been said, or it's been, statistic, men are not emotional creatures. So they don't know how to speak when it comes to addressing certain issues or things of that nature. Right? Even with this as being a disruptor, they don't know. That's what's been said. That's what's been implied. Right? So then there's a lot of silence, but there's also a lot of violence. Right? So can you help us understand that, as in how do we help? Like break up the myths. What's going on with that?
Men were taught to function. Men were taught the importance of function, not the importance of feeling. So that's why men come off as emotionalists when in actuality, men are more emotional than women. But we've been taught to be stoic. We've been taught the importance of ego and identity and all of these things. We were taught that. This goes back to my previous comment. We were taught that, as a man, you gotta provide, you gotta protect, we were taught to think about everyone else and neglect us. So this is why when men have emotional so when it comes for us to express, some men don't have language. Anger was the most socially acceptable emotion that men can show. Men cannot show depression because it'll be used against us. You cannot tell other people I'm depressed. What are you talking about? You're depressed. Man, go to sleep, man. Just wake up, you'll be fine. Like, it gets dismissed. So now when a man crashes out or he reaches his limit, it gets looked at as violence, especially in black men. Black men depressed, it comes out irritability, being a workaholic, developing addictions, right? The rates of suicide in black men are higher, right? So when a man feels like this is it, I can't do it anymore, and he takes his life. That's when people want to start asking, but we never saw the signs. Did you study enough to know what the signs look like? He's a workaholic. No, he's an avoidant. And why did he avoid? Oh, he's not affectionate like that. Was he given affection as a kid? Or was he told, don't cry, boys don't cry? What narrative, what story was he living out that made him who he was as a man? And I don't condone anything. I don't condone none of that abusive and put hands on women and all this stuff. I don't condone any of that. What I will say is that those things come from somewhere. The weaponization of a man's emotions, yes, absolutely. Oh, you could tell me anything until it's about you. You can come talk to me until there's a conflict that I have with you. Then it's gotta be the tone police. Then it has to be, you could have said it better than that. So there's no room for vulnerability. I'm not saying to be disrespectful in tone, in speech. But wherever you took, if you want to take that lid off and find out the truth, make sure you understand it could be about you too. So now men have no one to talk to. Oh, I'm not safe here. So you want me to talk to somebody who's a professional and I don't know nothing about? But I can't talk to you though, that I know. The person that I know, I have a relationship with. But you want me to go to a professional. So if I'm not safe here, what makes you think I'm gonna be safe over there? Yep. I digress.
Yeah. I think I've heard it said quite often that men don't speak or take their, be vulnerable, with their partners or with whomever,
Yep.
because it gets thrown back into their face.
Yep.
It gets weaponized. That's the word, right? It gets and used against them.
Yep.
So if you lose your job, then you'll hear, yeah, well, you just like your deadbeat father, like they don't need that.
No.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't need that. There's no safe space
Right.
for them to be what we women want them to be.
Right.
They have no place to become.
No.
Manipulation happens when that discipline is not in place. We must be aware of the undisciplined. Whoo! Thank you for that great exchange.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to be aware of it.
You got to be aware, and you got to be disciplined. You got to be strong enough to really, you really have to, and this is for everybody, man. We have to hear what's not being said.
Right. And that takes active listening. You got to pay attention to body language.
Yeah.
Pay attention
Yeah.
to delivery. Anger is not new. Anger is not new. Anger is not a new emotion. Like when people are angry, it's not new. That's not fresh anger. That's anger that's been built up over time. That's feeling a loss of control and power. That's a lack of voice. That anger is not new.
You said that in your book.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get it. I just want to just lay the foundation right today where we going with this, because we get into chapter 10, because that's the chapter I really want to focus on, because I think that covers a lot.
Yep.
And it'll probably be repetition of what we're saying today, but I want to dig deeper into it, because there's some things that you say in chapter 10 that I think is just gonna just if it do for them what it did for me, I think,
Oh yeah, because it's true. We haven't talked about things enough.
Yeah, and when we're gonna talk about it on this platform, and maybe maybe a little. I doggone it, I don't have a delay button. Shoot. So whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens, happens.
No problem.
Yeah. But what can we? So we said they need a safe space because when I was introducing this segment with you, I want to dedicate it to the men,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because, and I said, and this is what I said, either if you're not in place as a disruptor, you're going to get in place.
Correct.
And if you are in place, then this is going to help you stay
That part.
in place.
That part.
So it's a win-win for the men.
Correct.
So I just want men to be able to, I want us right now to help, I want to lay the foundation of your book. And I want to start just telling the men, because a man need to hear from a man.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That's why I love you. And I love when my cousin Jamel comes on, because men need to hear from a man. Because from a woman, we nagging. We ain't satisfied. So I need men to get their voice back.
Yeah.
Because you can't be a disruptor if you're silent.
Well, is it getting their voice? Is it getting our voice back or getting our voice?
Either or, all of the above. I check E, all of the above.
Because
When it all sounds good, we check box E, all of the above.
all the above.
Yes. Because either you're going to get there or you're going to stay there. And this is why I want to dedicate this month to the men.
Yeah. Because it is Men's Mental Health Month. So
Yeah. We gotta find a way to get our men together. We need more brotherhood. We need more. Ooh, let's talk about it.
Yep. Oh, I wish this person could come on because I want to hear more.
That's Jamel.
That's Jamel. Okay.
That's my cousin Jamel.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, I wish he could get on because that right there, I want to hear more from. I want to hear his perspective is good. I love his perspective.
Let me see. Mel, can you elaborate in the comments? I don't know if I have time to bring you up on with us. Because now you're encouraging the speaker. Yeah, but either or I check box E. So tell me how you feel about that. Because you've seen a lot. You survived a lot. I've seen a lot. I survived a lot. Men, and I keep trying to stress the fact that men are important.
Very.
I'm encountering some things now, and this is gonna be way out there, and I hope we don't get banned. But I'm understanding more and more this generation of same-sex relationships from the women, from the young ladies. And the young ladies are experiencing either the absentee of a father or a man, or they're watching how their father is treating their mom.
Mm-hmm.
So their mindset is, well, I don't want to deal with that. So I'm like, what do we do?
Yeah, because people think that to understand a healthy two-parent household is not just because two parents are there.
Right.
Right. There's a lot that goes into that. Right. When we're talking about what our kids are exposed to, right? Especially within them seeing their mother and their father. We society's condition. Yep.
Finish your thought and then we can address that.
Yeah. So seeing what I was, because I saw some stuff as a kid I had no business seeing between my mother and father. Right, the abuse, the putting hands on each other, both of them. Right. I saw that at the age of 4. Had no business seeing that. No kid should ever see their parents going at war with each other. Right. So I didn't see affection from them. I saw it in movies.
Wow.
Right. So I didn't know nothing about what it meant to be in a stable, healthy household, right? Showing affection, dancing, doing random things so that our kids can see it. I had to learn that on my own. I didn't see that anywhere. I just seen the men being around their wives and just being all macho and hard. It's like, but y'all are not showing, like you're not grabbing up on your woman. Like I don't understand. Like y'all married though. Y'all not boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all past that stage, right? I didn't have a healthy view of still dating your spouse and knowing what that meant.
Mm.
Right? That could have jacked my whole world up if God didn't come in the at the timing that He did. So when kids are exposed to these things, then they've developed a belief system of, well, then if my father couldn't love my mother, or if I can't see healthy relationships between a man and a woman, then I'm gonna have to explore. So now the enemy plays on that.
Right.
Satan plays on that. Some people don't even know. It's like your belief system now has already been it's already damaged. So now you're gonna look at something that God never institutionalized and see it as right because you have unprocessed emotions, you have unprocessed grief and anger towards the individuals that were supposed to teach you what healthy affection looked like. Sorry. Some water. Um, so yeah, so and that plays into the whole what we see in society in terms of same-sex marriages and relationships, and it's only going to get worse over time. It's going to keep happening, right? Because these things were talked about in the Bible, right? So history is going to repeat itself. But now we're living in different times. We're just seeing the same thing, just in a different time zone. So now I want to go to what Jamel said. So we speak, we explain,
Mm-hmm.
but our voices have been tuned out by society's conditioning. Absolutely. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he said women don't listen, children don't listen, and our voice is ignored, but not muted. And he's right. I don't I have no rebuttal for that. He is 100 everything he said, 100% the truth. We've been tuned out. So
So
now when
how do we get it back?
it has to be the opposite, right? The counter. If we speak and we explaining, our voices can no longer be tuned out. Because now when we get quote unquote disrespectful, not everybody wants to hear.
Mm.
But but the filter is already damaged. Why are you always
Jesus.
screaming? Why are you always getting why are you so when I said it when I was calm, when I explained it, when you asked me to, it's like, oh, he always complaining. Or we now the word oh my god, men are being sassy. Wow. Okay, men are sassy. Okay. Okay. So now when they're no longer faithful to you and it becomes a problem. When they show faithfulness to somebody else who actually listened, who believed, who took the time to understand, then it becomes a problem. Right? You have like trying to be careful with my words here, Jesus. Father, please help me. When we have to come into considerate, we have to consider what we've been conditioned by. We have to have people in our lives who are going to hear us and listen to us the first time without misinterpreting what we're saying. Right? We don't have enough people in our lives to actually have open-ended questions. So when you said this, what did you mean by that? Right? Or the question of this is what did you hear me say and how did you hear me say it?
Yes.
That's going to answer all of our questions. Like, okay, we're going to know if you're listening or not. Right? So if no one listens to us when we're speaking, when no one listens to us when we're speaking, then it becomes, well, why he don't want to talk no more? Why you not saying nothing no more? Because when a man opens up, when we open up that vulnerable space, depending on how you handle that, will let us know to keep that door open or to wield it shut. You will never see that side of us ever again.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
And we'll still be around. We'll still show up. We'll still do all these things, but you will never get that side of us ever again. And most dangerous man you will ever have in your life is a man that self-betrays just to keep you around. What did he say? We form terms to tune us out and emasculate us. Absolutely. And I realize logic. Absolutely. Yep. And that is emotional intelligence in real time.
Jesus. Whew. Whew.
Oh, please, Jamel, please, bro, please. Can it be us next week?
I'm gonna see if he's available. I'm gonna figure it out. I promise you. Because we may need him for chapter 10 because I really want to deal with chapter 10 next week. Today I want to lay the foundation of the book, and this is the book. It's on Amazon. I Am a Disruptor. Earl O'Brien Jr. And what we're doing is basically we're bringing change to tradition.
Yeah. Basically,
that's the definition of a disruptor. One who brings change to tradition. And this should be the book of the year. Not nothing written by Jakes. Not nothing written by none of them. This right here, and I love Jakes. Don't get it wrong. I grew up with him. But this right here, get this book. I can't stress it enough. I'm not even promoting my own books. Get this book because we got to get back in our place. Oh, he said, bro, I'm down. Yes, sir. So we're going to have Earl and Jamel on next week, and I'm just going to have a bowl of cereal and some snacks.
Oh, man.
I'm going to introduce chapter 10 because I really want to dig into chapter 10.
Yeah.
The title of chapter 10 is We Have Not Talked About This Enough. That's chapter 10.
Yes.
So those of you who already have the book, read chapter 10. If not, get the book and read chapter 10. Go to the store if it's on the shelves and just sit in the aisle and read chapter 10. I'm telling everybody now, we're dealing with chapter 10. All right? So, Earl, I enjoyed this foundation.
Thank you.
Jamel, thank you for your input. Everybody who's on, I see you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for being on. This is for the men, so we digging in. We digging in because I need our men. Our men need to know that they are needed, they are loved, they are wanted, and we need them. And y'all know I say it all the time. So thank you for this. So we will be back next week. I'm ending on time because Earl have another engagement he has to attend to, and I want to leave on time. So until next week, y'all stay safe, stay encouraged. Get the book. It's a beautiful day. Get the book and go in the park and read it. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Stay hydrated. I love y'all so much. Mwah. Until next week, y'all stay safe and stay encouraged. Bye.
Bye.